Happy Friday, everybody. In a surprise move, Attorney General Bill Barr seemed to break with President Trump, denouncing the president's tweeting on ongoing investigations. But maybe he's just telling his boss, hey, I got this. Just stop talking about it. 15 people in the U.S. have contracted the coronavirus, and the worldwide total is now over 64,000. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield said the epidemic will likely carry on into 2021. On today's show, the upcoming Nevada caucus has Democrats shaking in their boots. Millennials do it big when it comes to love, and I've got a few final thoughts of my own. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. I'm Jamal Simmons. Here's why you should care. If you thought love don't cost a thing, think again. This Valentine's Day, Americans are expected to spend $27.4 billion to show their honey some love. That's up 32% from last year. That's according to the National Retail Federation. Millennials are looking to score some brownie points. Research firm Bankrate's most recent survey of U.S. adults in relationships found that people between the ages of 24 and 39 will drop the most dollars. On average, they're expected to spend $208. In comparison, Gen Xers, those 40 to 55-year-old, are likely to spend $162 on their sweethearts. While boomers appear to be more pragmatic when it comes to spending money on what many consider a Hallmark holiday, they're estimated to spend about $101. Okay, boomers. When it comes to Valentine's Day, millennials are really putting their money where their mouth is. According to Bankrate's survey, they found that 6% of millennials expect their partner or spouse to hook it up on February 14th. Now here's why you should care. It's really not that surprising that younger people are more enthusiastic about doing it up on Valentine's Day. Research shows that those who spend the most are in new relationships, less than 6 months. So they're likely to be the ones that are in that honeymoon phase when everything's so exciting and spending hundreds of dollars doesn't seem unfathomable. I'm sure it seems worth it, but maybe they could save some of that honey money and put 5 more on that student loan. We're 1 week away from the Nevada caucuses. Will it be Iowa 2.0? Some caucus workers in presidential campaigns think it might be possible. They're worried about it. The Nevada Democratic Party was all set to be using the same app to calculate votes that Iowa used, but after the snafu in the Hawkeye state, Nevada Democrats said it was going to scrap that plan. Instead, they claim to be using a caucus calculator. In a memo released by the Nevada State Democratic Party, the calculator was described as user-friendly and would be used to add early voting data and caucus totals, as well as paper worksheets. The party says the tool is not an app, but will be available on party-owned iPads, accessed through a secure Google web form. Now here's why you should care. According to a CNN report, caucus volunteers have yet to use the calculator to practice with its interface or to see if it even works and have been given few details about it. On top of that, campaign aides who've been in touch with the Nevada Democratic Party said communication's been brief and limited. Out of the many questions and concerns that came out of the 2020 Iowa caucuses, one was especially resounding. Should we still even be caucusing? To add more fuel to the fire, Nevada's allowing early voting. That's one more complicated step that Iowa didn't even have in its process. Now, why you should care. Nevada will be the first state that has large minority populations and will be a real test for the 2020 Democratic candidates, since the state is a clear example of the diversity of the Democratic base. And Democrats need more clarity on who the finalists are going to be to take on President Trump. American democracy is a fragile thing. At its founding, the United States was a slave state that nearly eradicated Native Americans and relegated women and white men without property to second-class citizenship. But over 230 plus years, through fights and death and marches and legislation, the government and the society has come to include more and more people of color, women, LGBTQ people, the disabled, and others. Today we have something rare. A multiracial democracy where everyone won't make it, but anyone can achieve the highest level of success in his or her field. Almost everyone who came to America willingly came here to escape heavy-handed governments and aspired to find a better life. Even millions of those former slaves' descendants left the South to escape oppression and went north in search of something better. The problem is that getting up that ladder is only getting harder. I once heard Jesse Jackson say success is built on a three-legged stool of skill, will, and opportunity. And that stool is too wobbly for too many Americans. Getting the skills is not evenly available, costs too much money, and leaves people with too much debt. And the opportunities seem to only go to the privileged few. Elites pass the benefits around like a goodies mob, only looking out for themselves, their children, and their friends. Without examples we can touch and pathways that are clear, too many people lack the will to climb that ladder. For too many of us, the American dream is like sand in our hands at the beach. It's slipping through our fingers, and it feels like too few people in charge of America's institutions are taking the challenge seriously. That anxiety is causing us to turn on each other, and the new technology we have is giving us more powerful platforms to shout each other down. Here's why I care. Because my family was enslaved here. My forebears built this country alongside everybody else, and I'm not going anywhere. And I want this place to be here for my children. And that means we have to get serious about making the changes that will give more Americans more skills, more will to succeed, and more opportunities to build good lives here. We might disagree on the right person to lead that charge. We might disagree on the right policies to make it real. But if we're gonna make America work, we can't dig in so hard that we can't compromise in the end. Let's not make our 85% friends our 100% enemies. I want to thank you for watching our show. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.